And we are live, we are in diretta with Elissa. Ciao Elissa,
Ciao,
come stai?
sto benissimo, tu come stai?
Bene, proprio bene. And hello to everyone. I am so happy to have on this channel Elissa,
I'm
and
happy
not
too.
Alyssa.
Not
Although
Elisa.
we would, of course, pronounce the name similarly in our North American pronunciation of English, right? Elissa. Though I
No,
just, no,
Elisa. How dare you?
Elissa.
Elisa.
Elissa.
But that's not
Esatto.
even the Italian. So see, here's the thing. We're
Dimmi.
already getting into a topic.
Ok, via, vai.
There's a difference between the way I say my name in English and the way I say my name in Italian. Because
Ovviamente.
the vowels change.
Mm,
And
dici.
yes, and I put the double S in the Italian version. So the
Mm.
English version is Elisa, so it's like an Elisa. In Italian, it's
Ah,
Elisa. See how the
bene.
vowels are, like, tight?
Yeah,
They, like, fit
Elissa.
the language? And then actually, that's something I like about my name, even though nobody can say my name for some reason, but my name is pronounceable, in my opinion, in most languages. In the sense that, like,
Most
the
languages
L
have A, A,
you know
S,
what
and
I mean?
L.
Like, the consonants, they're not weird consonants that don't exist. Like, they exist in pretty much every language as far as I know. Plus, the vowels can, like, change slightly to fit the language. So,
Yeah,
like, English, Elisa, Italian, Elisa, French,
mm,
Elisa. There's like a way. So,
exactly.
anyway.
Exactly. Now, if that's not enough to convince you to subscribe to Elissa's channel, then, well, my further recommendation here should give it right here
Oh,
on the screen. That's the YouTube address, or you can type it's Elissa, not Alyssa,
Elisa. Oh, no.
using the, excuse me, Latin pronunciation. Let me just get more of that water to help me with that cough.
Oh, no. I can't live without
Scusate.
it. Beside me at
Ecco.
all times.
Ecco, infatti, no, faccio così, così si vede bene.
Si
Bene,
vede tutto
eccoci.
adesso.
That's right. So everybody out there, Elisa is a fantastic, incredibly natural teacher, in my opinion, both through YouTube, through her live streams, as well as in her outstanding videos. You may actually already know this person because of her fantastic video. Let me see. Oh, yep, it's right there. Good. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share the screen
Share
of
the
the screen.
screen.
Share the screen. Share it. The screen is shared. Wait, how is it? Oh, I'm not. Oh, is this? I'm in a different account. Hold on. Beep, subscribe. So that's what you should do. See, I did that deliberately just so I could show people how to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you get a
I
notification every
mean,
time.
I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, but if you want to.
Now, yeah, do the bell icon because then you get notifications when she makes videos. We did a cool one here where we spoke Latin. First time you did that. That was awesome.
That was fun.
We did a little bit of that also on my other channel, Scorpio
Yeah,
Martianus.
the next day. Yeah.
The next day.
So I had
And
1 day of
uh,
Latin experience. What
yeah,
an advantage.
we gotta get you the books. We gotta get you you might as well imparare il latino perché no? È facile.
Oddio.
Fa
Oddio.
chi dissest lingua latina, Fa chi
Oh my
dissest.
god, you know, my boyfriend was like, "You realize that using the classical pronunciation is, like, painful for every Italian?" And I was like, "I'm
Oh, it is so
sorry."
painful to hear these sounds that are not in. It's this. You have these sounds Italian. No, ok, parliamo poi in italiano agli italiani.
Va bene.
Ok, abbiamo due pronunce praticamente che usiamo in latino. Usiamo o la pronuncia restituta, ossia classica,
Sì,
o la pronuncia scolastica italiana, ossia
sì,
ecclesiastica. Tutte e
sì,
due valgono bene. Io uso tutte e due e si
sì,
capiscono perfettamente, senza problemi,
sì.
Non è
Mh.
difficile, è facilissimo. Quindi, se vogliamo parlare in latino, possiamo usare quella pronuncia che vi piace.
Sì.
Non importa, è come, oh, impossibile, che sentire quella pronuncia
No, sai cosa
britannica
pensano
o
secondo me?
americana.
Allora, quello che ho
Dimmi.
sentito io è che
Sì, prego.
dicono che è una cosa che gli inglesi intendo,
Bene.
anglofoni, madrelingua inglesi, che
Certo.
hanno cercato di ricostruire questo accento e non si sa veramente se è così o non è così, secondo loro. Io non so, per me
Ragazzi,
allora
guardate i miei video,
Allora, io dico
Eh.
questo. Prima di imparare l'italiano, preferivo molto di più la versione che era più simile all'italiano,
Mh.
quello scolastico, ecclesiastico, perché tanto sono ossessionata con l'italiano, quindi ho detto: "Ovviamente mi piace quello di più". Adesso che parlo l'italiano sono tipo soddisfatta da questa pronuncia bellissima che posso usare ogni giorno. Diciamo che non mi dispiace così tanto quello classico, non nel senso, magari qualche anno fa mi avrebbe dato fastidio, e invece adesso
Mh.
non
Bene.
ci penso neanche.
Anch'io mi sono un po' cambiato riguardo la mia opinione, perché io sempre cercando di fare viva, rediviva, come diciamo in latino, questa lingua antica, questa pronuncia anche che va con quella, sembrava a me una cosa assai artificiale usare la
Mh-mh.
pronuncia ecclesiastica, però
Mh.
ora vedo che mi piace.
Mh-mh.
Um, ora parlo con quella pronuncia e siamo un po' satisfacile uti pronunciazione ecclesiastica immo facili est mi sermo ite pronuncians. Ho detto solo che è facile
Why did I,
pronunciare così.
like, understand that?
Because you're ready to learn Latin, and that's why
Che
you're ready.
bello.
Sì.
No, l'italiano aiuta tantissimo perché
Mh,
guarda, veramente, senza di quello sarebbe stato un disastro, però conoscendo l'italiano, guarda, mi ha dato un grande aiuto, perché poi,
mh,
non lo so, se avessi cercato di fare, quel video che abbiamo fatto tipo quello sul tuo canale, con uno che
mh,
conosce solo l'inglese,
mh.
sarebbe stato un po' più difficile.
Ti anche faccio vedere
Però
quello, dove il mio canale ho un canale, almeno un canale. Scorpio
someone says
Marzianus, come si chiama
classical
cos'era?
Latin pronunciation is way
Eccoci qua.
better. Why is it way better in your
Chi ha
opinion?
detto? I don't think so. I don't think there's not. It's like saying British pronunciation is better than North American pronunciation. Where I'm bringing this in. I'm getting used to saying this. It's very important. Um, uh, when they're completely mutually intelligible and it doesn't matter and it's just whatever you prefer.
I mean, yeah, like, it depends how you say it. If and that might not be what he means. What he means might not be like, "It is objectively better." He might just mean like, "I prefer it,"
It's
you
not.
know?
It's all.
So we
Yeah.
all have preferences. Like, I like
Exactly.
all sorts of different accents in English. I don't think any of them are better than the other. I think that some accents may be better for people who are learning just because they're easier to understand,
Mm.
but it depends what purpose, you know? I find
Yeah.
them all interesting, so
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. And it is actually sometimes taught in Italy, which is great. Oh, yeah. Wait, we're going to do this. So, video we did where I got to try some basic Latin lesson one stuff with Italian speakers. That was super cool. Thanks for participating in that. And then this is your channel here, which you should all subscribe to. Also take lessons with Elisa. She teaches English and Italiano. But this, ooh, cool, nice, 800,000 views. Sorry, let
Oh
me,
gosh.
yeah.
You guys.
And this is one I'm from 2017. I knew this video, and I think like everybody who searched for how to trill an R on YouTube has probably seen it. And it's you've definitely earned your fame with it. But
Oh
what's
my
great is that
goodness.
your videos are consistently of this terrific, like the coaching you do in the videos as well as in your live streams demonstrates your knowledge. So
Oh,
so anybody who wants
thank you.
to learn more about Latin, sorry, Italian
Not Latin.
and English, definitely subscribe to it's Elisa, not Alyssa. Um, and also consider taking lessons with her. You can sign up for lessons with her
Jonathan's
in
from
the
sorry, I have
description.
to interrupt. Jonathan's from Ottawa?
You're
I'm
in
from
you're
Ottawa.
you're interrupting your plug.
I'm
You're is
so
it
sorry. Keep going, keep
take
going.
take
I
lessons
apologize.
of English and the Italian with Elisa. Description as the link. Okay, okay. Yes, Jonathan says something very important. He is from Ottawa.
From Ottawa. I'm also from Ottawa. Hello, Ottawa,
Cool.
buddy.
Nice. Go Ottawa.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, I want to talk about that. How do we how did we, meaning the I guess the unroyal we, the you, the we, how did you transition from being canadese to becoming at least through habitation italiana, and I want to know a lot about that. Dici, oh, ecco
Wow.
Davide, ciao Davide.
Oh, c'è
Subscribe
Davide.
also to
Ciao.
podcast italiano.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
important. So, how did I missed the first 10 minutes. No, poor Davide. How did I? Well, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, people. Sometimes you meet someone and you fall in love, and then your family says you're crazy and that you're ruining your life, but then you don't care and you say, I'll do what I want, and then you move across the world to be with said person. Sometimes that happens. And
Brava.
such thing may or may not have occurred.
Very good. I
And
like the legalese. This is another language. Legalese.
oh my god. And so yeah, that's kind of the story. Basically, here's what happened. When I started university, I think this is like 2013, 2014-ish. Um, you know, you know how we have our major and our minor. I know Italians don't have this system, but in North America, we have a major and a minor. And I was doing a major in psychology, and I was like, I can choose any minor. What should I do? This is at the time, I was thinking, this is my last opportunity to learn a language, because I felt like if I wasn't forced to do it, I don't know if I would have done it, because I didn't know if I was good at languages or not. I really had no idea. Like, I knew I was good at English because my mom always told me that, like, this is interesting actually, ever since I was a baby, she said that I had like such accurate, you know how kids mumble a lot? She said, like, ever since you were a baby,
Very
you pronounce.
accurate mumbling.
Yes, she said I always pronounced, like, very clearly.
Mm.
So I thought that was interesting, but anyway, was I good at English? Yeah, but I was like, that doesn't mean I'm good at other languages. So I was never great with French. And the reason this is important is because lots of people will have a bad experience with language because maybe they weren't motivated, they didn't connect to it emotionally, didn't find someone to talk to, and they say, "Oh, well, I'm bad at languages." And it's like, "No, you don't know
Yeah.
that yet."
Math
Because
too?
freaking look at
Absolutely.
me. Like, you think I ever thought I was going to be bilingual? Like, no. No, I did not think
Mm.
I was gonna be bilingual. I didn't even think I was gonna be, like, average.
Hmm.
So,
And here we
anyway.
are, exception, because, like I mentioned, in other places. I think it's in some of our videos. I don't know. We recorded so many videos last week. I didn't remember what we all recorded. But how much I look up to you, sorellina,
Aw.
as far as, having done a lot of things that I want to do. I'm comfortable
Mhm,
with my Italian, but I know how it can improve a lot, and that'll
mhm,
come from also living in Italy. So you have
of
two
course.
things: outstanding mastery of Italian and the living here part, which is really cool. And I want to know how to do that. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what about I remember I had a friend who was a student. Actually, I was teaching beginner Italian years ago, and had a student. She and her husband had moved to Rome, and they invited me to have like coffee and stuff, and they're talking with them. I remember her complaining. It's just about like living in it, like the frustrations of living in Italy are tremendous.
Mhm.
And they were living in San Diego before, so typical reason. Well, actually, San Diego is pretty cool. It's very exceptional, maybe, but otherwise, it has the same basic conveniences as living in any other North American city, I would imagine. And then they're living in Rome, and so I guess that just didn't work for them as well. But maybe also they were adults. I mean, we're adults, obviously, but I mean, they were, they'd already had kids who moved out of the house, so
Yeah, like, they're
they
more
weren't
like
they weren't elderly, but they weren't maybe as young
as,
and
like,
dynamic as
adventurous
we.
and like, "Oh, I'm gonna move to a new country. I'm gonna change my life around. I'm gonna do that." Like,
Yeah, they did it
they
for
have a
work.
bit more flexibility, like not having
Yeah,
kids, not having to worry like, "Oh, no, my kids are gonna have to change schools," and all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, that definitely has an effect on it.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
so
So,
yeah.
like, so partendo da, let's go from the le cose difficili. Is there
Mhm.
anything that's like living here, like, I don't
So
have
frustrating for me.
this. Yeah, and I wonder too, especially in the modern age when we have Amazon.
I don't have my driver's license.
Do you not have it
Oh
in
my
Canada?
god. Okay, I have my driver's license in Canada,
Non
but
puoi
they don't
usare qui?
They don't freaking
La patente?
accept it.
Ma come
Bureaucracy,
no?
exactly.
Ma come no?
Che ne
Ma
so
come vuoi
io?
dire?
Boh,
Ma la
non lo
ma wait,
accettano.
it's femminile? It's femminile, right? La patente?
La patente, sì.
Oh, thank goodness. Devo
Bravo,
fare una
bravo.
bella figura, eh? Ah, okay, bene, grazie.
No, sei bravo,
Grazie a
non
tutti.
ti preoccupare, dai.
Ma che bra
È
oggi sono
vero.
stato in Toscana un po', quindi mi viene ora un po'
Uh-oh.
dell'accento, un po' di, "In dove vai?" eccetera. Quindi che volevo dire? La patente ma no, se abbiamo la patente, io no, io sì, infatti
Allora,
mi
se sei
ricordo, ho avuto
sì,
la patente a
sì,
Ginevra, giusto?
eh,
La città in Svizzera. Geneva.
sì,
Ho potuto prenotare la macchina, la la macchina, scusa, la macchina, e guidare fino a dove? A Firenze, infatti.
mh-mh.
Quindi how
Però,
is that just a
allora,
Svizzera
per i
thing? I mean
tuoi no, mi sa che aspetta, sì, forse. Allora, tu come straniero, se sei qui in vacanza, quello che è, puoi guidare per il primo anno se hai la patente internazionale. Okay.
international.
E poi se vivi qui, mi sa il primo anno tipo puoi guidare, però dopo di quello quando diventi tipo quando hai la residenza in Italia, devi prendere la patente e purtroppo non so perché, nel senso, i segni sono un pochettino diversi. Sì, non so usare le marce, okay, devo imparare quello, però porca miseria, io devo dare dall'inizio, fare l'esame di teoria, spendere 1000 € per prendere
1000 €? Ma
sì, no, allora 800 però se vai benissimo non ti bocciano mai, capisci? Se tu sbagli e
mh-mh.
ti bocciano per tipo la teoria, tu devi
Ah-ah.
pagare di più. Adesso hanno messo l'IVA su tutto, quindi le tasse, no,
Mh-mh.
quindi costa di più. Io sì, sono brava in italiano, però comunque loro cercano di fregarti, anche gli italiani fanno fatica a passare quell'esame.
Oddio.
Quindi questo è l'unica cosa che è un po' fastidioso, queste cose qui, perché non si può trasferire 'sta patente, non lo so, perché magari se potessi fare un test corto, una cosa capisci, magari 3 guide, no, mi sa
Yeah, I
che ci
want the
sono
short one.
12 guide obbligatorie, 12. Io so già guidare.
Mh.
Comunque,
Sounds
quindi
ter so
la
wait a minute.
patente,
Now
yeah.
also have a private pilot's license as well as commercial, military, and so forth. So with my private
Why are you stop
pi
being so cool? It's annoying. No, I'm kidding.
no, I don't know, I think my cool years are behind me. I just, like I'm ready to, like,
No,
live the good life in Italy, just,
live the nerd life.
yeah, just kind of sit on my laurels, to bring in a nice classical sort of term. Però okay, so I have my patente to actually fly airplanes, and I
Mhm.
take that this is in 2014. I go to the
Yeah.
Aeroporto di Salerno when I was living in Salerno. I just rented a plane, and I flew around, and I got to see, Pompeii from the sky before I saw it from the ground. It was great. It was really happy, awesome experience. So I can
Mhm.
rent a plane and fly in this country with the license I already have, the FAA license, and not drive a car.
I don't know what to tell you, man. It's
Well, that
dumb.
stinks.
It does stink. So, like, obviously, that's the obvious answer. Like, the bureaucracy stuff, like, it's annoying sometimes. But the thing is, I think one of the reasons that, I avoid a lot of frustration and why people say, like, "How could you love Italy so much?" Like, there's so much, corruption, problem, politicians suck, blah, 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 blah.
Mm.
Yeah, but also most of the problems that people have with living in Italy is the work situation. Now, I do not work in Italy because I work online. So I don't have to deal with the in-person, like, you know how many people I know that have worked for like 6 months and they never got paid even once? Like, people I know.
That's terrifying.
I
Really?
know. Yeah, and
Ooh.
so, like, it doesn't happen to everyone, but I'm sure everyone who's Italian knows one person who worked at it for a certain period of time and didn't get paid, and so I'm afraid I don't trust I just don't trust anything, and the thing is I'm too Canadian for that. I can't put my trust in someone say, "Oh, yeah, yeah, we'll pay you." It's like, "No, no, no, no. You're gonna pay me
Brava.
now. I'm not
Very astute, yeah.
playing." You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't work for free, sorry, because if you work for
Mm.
free, you starve. So, like, you know what I
No,
mean?
absolutely not. You're
And
right.
so
And I don't know, I think um I'm a think by birth an agreeable person. Like, there's agreeable and there's disagreeable, right? Like a personality scale.
mm,
Would you say you're also generally an agreeable person or
no,
disagreeable?
I'm very disagreeable.
Good.
Yeah.
That's bet on it's, I mean, this is interesting because you're obviously very easy to get along with, but you're disagreeable because you have to have your way. That's great. I've
Yeah.
learned
Yeah.
to get that edge and to become disagreeable and to
Yeah.
insist when some like I'll go with the flow, but when it's like, mm-mm,
Yeah.
got it.
It's
Yeah.
surprising because, like, you wouldn't, because being disagreeable doesn't mean you're not nice. It just basically means that you're not afraid to, like, stand up for yourself or speak your mind or, like, tell somebody when you think something is wrong. Like, that's what,
Mm,
I'm also very low in with a trait politeness. Now that doesn't mean being kind and being nice. You know what I mean? Like, those traits don't necessarily mean what you think they mean. It
yeah.
just means that, like, if I think something is wrong, it's like I'm not just going to go with it. Sorry. I'm just going to say nope, not doing it.
Hai
Like,
ragione.
I have, like, very clear,
Mm,
like, limits for stuff like that.
good.
Um so yeah, it's pretty interesting. So anyway, as I said, like, the fact that I work online, like, with teaching, YouTube, Twitch, blah
Sign
blah
up for her
blah,
lessons,
that
by the way.
stuff.
Links in the description.
I don't have to I have to do the signature Elisa pose every time.
That's
But
awesome.
anyway,
I don't
um
have a signature pose. I think my signature pose is like my thumbnails. Keep going.
oh my gosh. But I think because I avoid the work issue, it removes one of the annoying things about living here? Um
Absolutely.
and so yeah.
Guardiamo poi i commenti perché
Sì.
abbiamo ricevuto un sacco. Ciao, ciao Raf. Raf c'è anche qui in appartamento, però non è stato invitato.
Non ho voglia di farsi vedere, non ci
Infatti,
vuole bene.
sì, Davide, lo sappiamo che ci sei. Ciao. E poi, I know Lucy's English with Lucy. She has a really cool channel.
Oh
I
my god, that's kind of true, in a
really, you think?
way.
Well, I mean,
Sort of.
I have an
Like,
Englishy
you could be
appear,
her
but I have
brother or
Italian.
something, or
Addi
that's
addirittura? Ma meno
I mean,
male.
it's not that
Well,
you look the same, but I think you have, like, if because siblings
blue
don't always
eyes
look
and she has
exactly
like
alike.
really blonde hair though. I have like reddish, blondish.
Yeah, but you're bald, who would ever know?
Infatti, ma super Syrian, right?
No, yeah, but
Super.
you can't the thing
Infatti.
is, when you have blonde hair, your eyebrows
Stai
are gonna
guardando?
generally
Mi faccio più
darker.
grande. Ecco, si vede. The lighting here is not great.
Well, you can see here actually that there's some red.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there still can be siblings where one is blonde and one is
Hai
ginger.
ragione. Well, it's a very flattering
So,
comparison.
I mean, she's very
I
pretty, so it's not a bad thing.
mm. Davide asked, have you talked about retracted S yet? And no, but it'll be coming soon, buddy. Don't worry, on a proper video.
Oh
And
my
also, where
god.
is your copy of Famiglia Romana, Elisa?
Oh my
We'll
gosh.
get all. I gotta,
He's
yeah.
pushing it. He's like, "We we have
Well,
to."
that would be fun if you imparate insieme. A me piace l'idea. E
Insieme
poi
chi?
avete
Insieme
me
a
e
chi?
Raffaele con cui imparare.
Insieme a Davide dici?
Sì, a voi studenti, e
Ah.
poi sì, avete due amici, me e Raffaele. Also, if you want to learn Latin with Raffaele Turrigiano and find the live stream we did with him for that link as well.
Mm.
Però, yeah, that's an interesting idea. That could
What
be fun. That
if
could be an interesting live
Davide
stream
and
series
I did a series where we
in
learned
cui
Latin
vi
together?
insegno allo stesso tempo. Può
Mmm.
essere divertente. Ci
Questo può
pensiamo.
essere,
Mm.
un'idea.
Kalispera, we got some Greeks, awesome. Uh, Matteo says one of the best things he learned. Well, thank Rafael Turrigiano because he's the one who taught me. And Oi Brazil.
Genius.
We got, oh good. Well, we got Greeks, all kind of Greeks, fantastic. Sum in Italia. And Kalispera Pedia.
Wait, how do I say, like, anch'io? Like, I'm also in Italy.
Et ego.
E tego?
Yeah.
E
E
tego?
io. Ed io. Et
Mhm.
ego. Uh, Bene.
Ah, per la patente.
Sì,
I like
per la
Peninsula.
patente, sì, un po' indietro, scusa. E poi Vita Neon. L'esame di teoria è il peggiore perché richiede un ragionamento logico. Anche gli italiani lo soffrono. Mm,
Sì, perché
mm.
cercano proprio di fregarti, perché magari dicono: "Questo segno ti dice che devi fare quello", però ti dice anche che devi fare un'altra, capisci? Vabbè.
Can I just drive and you see if I don't hit anything?
That would be nice. That would be nice. I wouldn't complain.
I like this question. Are you of Italian extraction?
Extraction. Was I extracted? Like,
You're of Canadian extraction. That I
I
can
mean, I'm
affirm.
Canadian in the sense that I was born and raised in Canada, but I am half Italian in that my father's parents were both born and raised in Italy and moved to Canada in, like, their late 20s or something.
Hmm.
Well, my grandmother in her late 20s and my grandfather, like, probably in his early 30s or something.
Hmm.
So I'm half Italian by blood
Right on. There you
and then
go.
half
I also have
Canadian.
Italian by blood.
Ooh, Ranieri.
Ranieri. And
Fancy.
yeah. And Ulrika, one of our Latin-speaking friends from Germany, nunc deo colloquia tutulo miso primo omnino certeram, ida lingua latina beri, lectiones Graecae. She's saying that she was expecting this live stream, because the live stream on one of my channels was going to be one of the live streams I do where I'm speaking Latin or teaching
Mhm.
Greek and Latin, because of course it makes sense to teach ancient Greek and Latin. And sadly, no, ignoscemi Ulrike non est illudo de esse. Fortasis et intra hebdomada emita facturus. Videbimus, hoc concilium. I was just telling her that, yeah, it wasn't one of the Latin ones, but maybe I'll do one of that. One of that. Yep,
What of
I can
that?
English. One of that, one of those. Fra poco.
Englishing is great.
English. What's great? There in ancient Greek, there are verbs like you can say like Hellenizo means I Hellenize, which means I speak Greek, or
Ah,
you could say like Bretanizo, which means I Britannicize, meaning I speak English.
that's
Bretanizo.
so interesting.
It is,
What the
yeah,
heck?
Italizo. Yeah, it's really cool. Bene, guardiamo un po'. Oh, molto da vedere. Commenti, commenti. Grazie ragazzi per i commenti. Anche per i commenti riguarda alla fonetica, perché parliamo della fonetica. Siamo questi tipi, no? A noi piace la fonetica, le lingue in genere. Quindi sì, passiamo allora. What were some of the things? We started communicating 2 weeks ago in your awesome live stream, which is really cool, and you should all check out anyway, and because it's worth it the whole hour and a half.
Aw.
Yeah, I was there the whole time. And then Davide
Oh
came in
my
and was like,
god,
"Hey,
that's
we're
so
going to meet in
sweet.
Italy." Davide speaks in this accent now, even though he is perfect North American English.
It's so fun. It's so
Yeah.
addictive.
It's
It's so
it's very
addictive.
fun. I think it is
The
Raf because
reverse
Raf.
is also
Yeah.
addictive. Ciao, parlo Italiano.
Molto bene,
Like,
direi.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about that that's so addictive.
I need my
And
cowboy
there's
hat.
actually
It's better that way.
a utility to that because when you're not afraid to make fun of stuff, you learn to pronounce things properly. And you know what? I think that's also the reason that you're good at pronunciation because I heard your voices, man. Acting, singing, like that stuff really helps with
Oh,
pronunciation.
well, look at your instruments in the background. You're a legit musician. You actually perform.
I mean, I
Uh,
try.
yeah, and on Twitch. Oh, I didn't put in your Twitch links in the description. Maybe I'll do that later, but because I haven't used Twitch
It's
like ever.
okay, dude.
Sembra
But
interessante.
cosa
Yeah.
stavo dicendo?
I'm dicendo di. Oh, what kind of things
Stavo
were you
dicendo il
talking
fatto
about? Sì,
I
prego.
was sorry,
No,
no, I was
dai.
saying that acting and singing helps, and one of
Mm,
the best things to help you with
come te.
pronunciation is to make fun of stuff. Like, don't even be realistic, just, like, pretend you're imitating someone, you know?
Esagerare.
And even if you
No one G in that
exaggerate,
language.
who cares?
Esagerare.
Because sometimes what happens is, this is how a person speaks, you speak like this normally, you try to do this, and you end up here. You know, you don't
Ah.
necessarily make it there, like, you
There's a
push and then
Petrarch
you
poem about that, and it's in
Is
Italian.
there?
Wait. Yes.
Ooh.
I need to find it though. Uh, Spero. Wonder if I can find it. Basically, it's a with a saetta. It's a saetta freccia. I don't remember. Basically, it's
I
his
think
lovely
you
one of his
sorry.
sonnets. No, he I have to find like the canzoniere. Well, apparently Petrarca saetta or freccia is not good enough to find it. Anyway, in this one sonnet, I read it years ago and I always remembered it. It was like just as the archer aims above his target in order to reach it,
Yeah.
thus you should do as well. I forget what he was talking about, probably
Yes,
amore or something.
exactly. That's
But
exactly what I mean.
it's fin dall'inizio
Bravissimo.
di questa lingua.
Che bello.
Infatti. Bene, quindi tu parlavi praticamente in quel video della fonetica, tu insegnavi agli italiani come pronunciare, ad esempio, la L in
Mhm,
inglese, perché è velarizzata, specialmente nel
mhm.
nostro accento nordamericano.
Sì,
Sì, e
sì, sì.
insegnaci un po', ad esempio, I am now Italian and I say
Like,
like. How do I say it
like.
better? Like.
Okay, listen very good. So, my grandmother, see, that's my reference
Ah.
for my fake, like, over-exaggerated Italian voice. Like, that's basically how my grandmother spoke.
Do you know Jenny Lorenzo, her YouTube channel?
No.
Oh my God, you'll love it. She's awesome, and I want to
Never heard
replicate
of
what she
her.
does. She is amazing. So she is Miami Cuban American,
Mm,
and she had her channel and her other work is very successful. But basically, her channel is all of her family members, her aunts, and herself when she was a child, and all these families, her grandmother especially. But she plays every one of them with different wigs and costumes, and does all of their accents. It is the
okay,
most.
that is literally me.
It's
Okay, here's the
amazing.
thing. Last time I was in Lebanon, I
Mm,
did this the thing is it's not funny to anyone else because nobody knows the inside joke, but I did this, like, thing where I was doing an interpretation of everyone's personality, like,
mm,
all my aunts and uncles, because like, the younger generation here's the thing, the older you get, the more your quirks come out, right? The more you
mm,
become set in your ways, the more you become repetitive, the more you become predictable, right?
mm,
When you're younger, you don't really know who you are yet necessarily, so you're a little bit less repetitive and predictable.
mm.
And so my aunts and uncles are all extremely predictable. So when I was in Lebanon, I was like going around with like every aunt and uncle, and they're like, okay, do me, do me. And I would just like in their accent, like it was just it was the funniest thing ever because I like got the exact essence of every personality in like one sentence. And I was like, "Oh,
Can you do any
this
of
is
them? Well,
this is my
do them today if you want. I'm
yeah, but no,
curious.
no, it's not funny because nobody knows who they are. It's funny if you like
You will
know
make
the
it. We'll show you some Jenny Lorenzo stuff, and heck, that could be your channel because it's
oh my god.
if you start doing something like that. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Got a
We got
question.
lots of comments.
Did you not see the Mona Lisa? Did you not see the Canadian flag?
Mh,
They have
sono
provinces and
canadese, non
territories.
sono americana. Non puoi
Ontario,
sbagliare.
Ontario. And
Sì,
I am
sì,
from Pennsylvania. Però, che volevo dire? Ok, io sono italiano in questo esempio ipotetico. Voglio imparare come dire like
ah sì, giusto.
correttamente. Insegnami.
Allora, okay,
Mm.
here's the thing. See, I don't use all the fancy terms because my approach is more I mean, you end up getting to the same result, it's just I don't know the fancy terms. It's
No,
more,
no,
I
non
guess,
bisogna.
inti
No, no,
in
io no, parlo italiano. Io sono
ah,
italiano.
l'italiano lo devo fare.
Ma
Allora,
certo,
okay.
insegnami.
Italiano, ascoltami
Ok.
bene.
Like, è corretto? Like.
No, è sbagliato. Perché la L in italiano allora se pensi un po' a dove c'è la lingua, è in un posto abbastanza simile dove c'è la R, quindi se fai R e fai
Mhm.
senti che è più o meno nello stesso
La,
posto, okay?
la,
Così,
la.
okay. In inglese non è così. Allora, in inglese ci sono 2 tipi di L. C'è la L, diciamo chiara e scura, okay, light L, dark L, okay, ci sono
Mhm,
diversi modi per chiamare questa cosa, ma non
mhm.
importa. La cosa importante è che quando c'è una L all'inizio di una parola, la L deve andare molto avanti e toccare i denti. Quindi non è come la TH che la lingua esce, però la lingua va in alto e si vede la lingua così. Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh.
oh, oh.
Molto
Mhm,
avanti, deve toccare i
mhm.
denti, okay?
Ok,
Così devi dire like,
like.
l
E mi
like,
pare che la parte posteriore della
like.
lingua anche sia bassa un po', giusto?
Sì. Like.
Like, like. E
Forse
le vocali come sono? Like.
mhmm,
Come ti suona
allora, la
like?
I è molto importante, perché questa
Mm,
è una cosa che non so se c'è solo in inglese, però comunque
mm,
abbiamo tanti diphthongs.
mm.
L'unica parola che conosco. Praticamente la I ci sono diversi tipi di I, ci sono 3 tipi mi sa, okay? C'è E, c'è I e c'è I,
Mm.
okay? In questo caso usiamo I, quindi non è ai, che è molto
Like,
c'è molta
like.
tensione, no, l'inglese è molto rilassato, ci sono suoni molto tipo tondi, devi essere rilassata, la mascella deve essere tutta rilassata. Perché ridi?
Io sto
Cosa c'è di
pensando a, non so,
divertente?
stereotipi non so, degli americani o gli inglesi, di forma fisicamente,
Sì.
però scusa un po', no,
No,
dai.
dimmi.
No, se no, we're not like typical Americans might not because we tend to drive more. We don't necessarily aren't as athletic as Italians who are just always walking around their cities on their cobblestone and so forth, and therefore they aren't as we said don't like tondi, ostimi rotondi. Anyway, not a great joke. But you laugh,
Madonna
so
mia.
sono
I
contento,
laughed, it
insomma.
worked.
Ecco.
Oh,
What's that emoji? It's the one with the yeah,
the like
insomma. Yep, that's the brava, perfetto. Bene, insomma, quindi,
Oh,
ci sono 2 possibilità. Io sono
quindi
questo italiano ipotetico. Dimmi.
cosa stavo dicendo?
Mi dica
Allora,
professoressa. Mh,
molto rilassato, molto
mh.
sciolto, devi essere pigro, perché quando
Eh,
sei pigro
eh.
sei più nordamericano. No, ma è vero, nel
Eccellente.
senso la pronuncia è così, perché io quando parlo italiano io sento molta più tensione e non è perché non sono madrelingua. In
Mh,
inglese è molto rilassato. In italiano i vocali sono molto precisi e capisci, è una cosa che non lo
mh,
so, le vocali sono molto precisi, c'è molta più tensione. Invece in inglese è
mh,
una cosa che è più così in inglese,
mh.
più così.
Infatti.
C'è tanto movimento.
Morbido, morbido,
Molto sì,
Quindi, okay, essendo
like,
il tuo
like.
studente, like. Quindi non è like, ma
Non
like.
like, perché quella
Ah-ah.
I dipende dalla parola, perché a volte allora se c'è quella vocale alla fine di una parola sì, tipo buy, high,
Mh.
okay, però se in mezzo a una parola, per esempio, è leggermente più corto,
Mh-mh.
like, quindi
Like.
hai praticamente così, like.
There we go. If you are se sei italiano e se vuoi imparare a
L'inglese
pronunciare bene e avere una bravissima professoressa per questo, ehm, c'è il link ai corsi di Elissa nella descrizione. Bene, okay, che volevo fare? Well, that was great. Thank you for the example.
you're
'Cause that's
welcome.
super awesome, and that whole live stream is just rich with that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Un gentilissimo commento di Eclipse. Ti ho scoperto da poco, pensavo fossi italiano. Sei sono americano, sì. Elisa è canadese.
sì.
Infatti, saluto da Firenze. Boh, Daniele continua a dire però dove Sonia, c'è stata Sonia.
Sonia!
Dov'è Sonia? Ho visto però non ho visto.
Ciao!
Dove sei Sonia? Sonia. Ciao Sonia. Ehi, you're always funny, dice.
Yay!
Riguardo il tuo senso d'umorismo.
D'umorismo. Qualcuno ha
Yeah,
chiesto someone asked where in Canada I'm from. I am from Ottawa,
that's right. And
the
for those of you
capital. For
wait,
those
let's
of you who don't know that.
yeah, no, I was just gonna like, let's just
Let's have a look
I
at the map.
let's have a look at the map because I love Canadian geography. It's just the
Oh,
natural wonders
really?
are exquisite. Oh my god, it's the all the natural wonders are exquisite. Um,
Mhm.
cool. So here's
Bet I've never seen
Ottawa.
any of them.
Have you not traveled around
Well,
very much?
I mean, look, here's the thing. The stuff that you see in photos, like, those
Mm,
beautiful lakes in Alberta and stuff like that,
mm.
are in frickin' Alberta, okay? I've never been there. I've been in
Which is
Ontario and Quebec,
ear.
and that's it. Yeah, IR. So, that's the thing is that The thing I love about Italy is you can just go to any city like almost no problem. Like it's just so easy to get around. In Canada, it's so freaking huge and it's expensive to travel within Canada that like everyone just goes on vacation somewhere else most of the time.
Mm,
So,
infatti.
so it sucks that I haven't seen much of Canada. I'd like to see more. Like the north would be so interesting.
I've never been to Canada. Mi dispiace.
It's Canada.
Wait, have you been to the US?
Yes.
Okay, well then I
Not
lose.
very much. I've been to New York. I've been to
It's
Las
kind of
Vegas when I
US.
was a kid.
That's interesting.
Oh my god, have I been anywhere else? No, that's it.
That's 2
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
That's infinitely more places than I've been in Canada.
Yeah. I need to see more of the States, but
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, so there's Ottawa, and it's so wait, hold on. Province, 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 territory, territory, territory.
yeah, the ones on the
Am I
top.
correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, cool. Just checking. Because oh, Lorenzo dice: Sto iniziando ad appassionarmi al latino grazie ai tuoi video. Sono contento, Lorenzo, grazie.
Che bello.
Here's a nice question for you. Speak you any French, Elisa?
Allora, okay, so here's the thing. Technically, I'm from Quebec, not Ontario, but I literally live like 10 minutes from the border. So my university was in Ottawa. You drive like when you live on the border, you're basically live in Ottawa. Like nobody knows Gatineau, so it's easier to say Ottawa. So technically I live in Quebec, but the place I live in is like maybe 40% English, 60% French people. And my high school was English, and we have this thing called Cégep. It's like a pre-university thing. It's pretty cool, actually. I really like this system about Quebec. Basically, we don't have grade 12, and then we go right to this either pre-university or like 3-year course if you want to do computer science or something, and then you go to university and you skip your first year, which is cool. The point is, my schooling was all in English. Did I learn French in school? Yes. Actually, up until grade, I don't know, the first couple of years of school, it was like 100% in French. So, yeah, and then after it became half and half, and then after in grade this is why I thought
You had school that was completely in French for more than a
I
year?
think so, yeah.
C'est
Yeah.
vrai, c'est magnifique ça.
Mhm. And
Wow.
so what happened was when I was
Mais tu
12,
n'aimes
I
pas le
wasn't
français, oui.
listen, I wasn't progressing as quickly as the other kids because maybe the other kids who were in French immersion had parents who spoke French, and so they had like they were just better at it. Like I just wasn't like progressing as quickly. And I had this stupid science teacher. Yes, I still remember you. What was her name? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, every time I think of her, I get angry. She freaking told 12-year-old little poor Elisa, like, you don't deserve to be in French immersion. You should be ashamed. Like, you should just quit and go to English. And I was like, I was 12. I took it so to heart. From that day, I was like, I suck at languages. Like, why
My
try?
niece is that old. I can't imagine how crushed she'd be to hear something terrible like that.
Like, even now, I mean, no, not now.
Yeah.
Now I don't give a shit what people think. But like, but the thing is, as a 12-year-old, when your teacher tells you that you suck and you should give up, instead of encouraging you.
Well, you know who sucks and should give up at teaching?
Yeah, exactly.
Teacher.
Well, because at that time I had okay, so math, I think math was in French, science was in French, history was in French, and then the rest was in English. It was half and half.
Wow.
Anyway, so here's the thing. French is very like a part of me. It's deep down because I was intermediate at some point. But that teacher discouraged me so much that it made me like almost hate French.
Hey, and this is a really important topic, which is called the affective filter. I just, when I say affect and effect, I'm sorry, I overemphasize it because I've artificialized my pronunciation in so many terrible ways. The affective filter, which is a really important part about Krashen's studies. Part of what he did is comprehensible input and a lot of other great buzzwords that we throw around in the modern language learning and ancient language learning community, because we've adopted them into Latin and ancient Greek studies because we should probably learn languages the best way possible, right? So what a huge part of that is that whenever you're learning really anything, languages just happen to be a particularly acute and well-studied example, is that if we're made to feel dumb or it could be as simple as just having an overbearing teacher.
Yeah.
So and my mother is an example of an outstanding student of ancient Greek who this year decided to start learning it. Ciao mamma, come stai? Tutto a posto? I think she's watching.
Oh, che carino.
Which is amazing and blew my mind. I was starting to make these comprehensible videos on my other channel, Scorpio Martianos, where they're all in ancient Greek and they're really basic, really easy to follow. In fact, she helped guide some of my editing to make sure it was slow enough, to make sure there's enough time. Because when you're editing for hours and hours, you kind of lose sense of how to space stuff out, like word by word, and the really simple, basic stuff. And she was very helpful with that. And I also realized too, because she had also with French years ago, a bad college experience, being rushed through a summer course of French, was all grammar based. It was really tedious, and it was not a good teaching method for her, and was probably not for most people in that class. Even the teacher was apologizing as she recounts the story to me, and it ended up totally souring her on French. And it's not in a too different way as French was soured for you. And learning language in general. It gave her the impression that, oh, I'm not good at language. Well, my mother's an incredibly avid reader. And her, I'd say when it comes, like normally I don't really think about native speakers and their like proficiency level, because they're native English speakers. Great. But given how much she has read, she has had the acquired skill of being good at language, period.
Yeah.
Thus, there was like anybody can learn a language, but what that means is someone who, like me, who is the kind of teacher you saw teaching in front of the class, where I'm not, I think I'm really good probably with extroverted people potentially, as all of us YouTubers were when we did that a few days ago last week. But probably I really sense that, okay, well, I need to like let her enjoy these videos and just take her own time learning it. Eventually she's going to come to me, and she absolutely did, and ask questions and stuff when she's ready. And that was a much better learning experience for her. So the affective filter, that's a really important thing to manage and negotiate as a teacher. And it's a kind of empathy, basic, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make this student feel like crap.
Yeah, I feel like my approach to teaching every single student is different, and it's all based on their personality. Like literally a student's personality changes everything about how my lessons go. Because when I get like a really extroverted student who's like really excited, the whole lesson is super like exciting and like, fun and whatever. And then there's some students who are like, they're more serious and they want like a more, logical, like step by step, they're just like, whether students introverted, extroverted, like it changes so much. So it's so interesting because like it never feels the same. It's always changing depending on who it is and like their mood and stuff. Because I mean, I think you're probably the same way. Like being an extroverted person, at least for me, my energy changes a lot depending on who I'm with. Right?
Yeah.
So like in the videos we did together, I'm like really excited. Why? We're both extroverted. We're doing something cool and fun. So I'm like maximum excitement mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas with someone who's like maybe a little bit more introverted, I'm still excited, but it's not as exaggerated, because otherwise then it just makes me look crazy and the other person look like they have their shit together. So anyway, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Sign up for lessons with Elisa in the description. And subscribe to her channel. People come into these live streams at different times, so that's why I like to repeat the plug. Sure. But Davide asks, Elisa, I've got a question for your as your English.
We have to make fun of you.
Really, wait, I need to take a smile. I'm going to take a screenshot. Smile. All right, and I'm gonna put that in our little.
We're gonna make fun of him until the end of time for that typo.
I got the question for as your English changed since you moved to Italy.
No. Changed.
Changed as it changed. Changed. Since. It almost sounds like sweet. Yeah. Has it? Has your English remained?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my English was already pretty neutral to begin with, in the sense that my Canadian English is kind of as American as Canadian accents get.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, there are Canadian features about my accent, but they're not
They're not
like
pronounced.
like always in your
Mm,
face. It's only with some words, you know?
mm.
Um, Obviously, if you guys see the video that I did with Rav, which will be coming out at some point, so subscribe if you want to see that.
That's right.
But anyway, guys, so many videos are coming out. You have
Oh my God.
no clue what
Subscribe
you're
to
in for.
everyone.
You have no idea what you're in for.
Pazzesco.
There's so many, it's ridiculous. Anyway, there obviously are differences, but it's pretty neutral. I don't use figures of speech and sayings and idioms as much as most people do, I think.
What are they?
What do you mean?
What Canadian modi
No,
di
not
dire you're
Canadians,
saying?
in English in general.
You don't use figures
English
of
in general.
speech?
Not that much. I would say less than the average person.
I've never thought
Yeah.
about even observing such a thing
I
before, much less of
also
myself.
You know why I noticed that? Because people sometimes ask
Hmm.
me, "Oh, can you teach me some sayings?" And I'm like, "Okay, I have to think about it because I don't I it's not like I don't use them, but I use them less." And I also noticed that the older generations use them more than we do. Because the stuff
Mm.
that we use, or maybe especially the generation below us, like Gen Z or Gen Z, if I want to keep my Canadianness, um, they use a lot of slang, right? So they
Mm.
use like the current internet slang. But then the older
Sure.
generation, like maybe our parents' generation, uses more like those set figures of speech, those set sayings, you
And
know?
I communicate through memes and references to movies.
There you go. And so I feel like I'm in a sweet spot where like, you know, I don't know. I think the other reason that my English is pretty neutral, I've said this before, but I don't know if I've said it online, is that my mom is an immigrant. English is not her first language. And my grandmother, who lived with us, also didn't speak English as a first language. So on one side, I have a Lebanese person who's good at English, but like it's not her first language. And then on the other side, I have my Italian grandmother who speaks English, but she speaks it like a this. So as a result, am I gonna go out of my way to use really complicated stuff, or is my dad gonna go out of his way to use really complicated stuff when he talks to them? Probably not. He's just gonna
Interesting.
say things in a way that's very easy to understand. And so my assumption is that I grew up in that bubble. Of course, you're influenced by your peers, but I can't find another explanation
Interesting.
for why it's so neutral that I was
Do you think your
influenced.
peers use a lot of them, or is it just because of the younger generation not
Not
using a lot of modi
particularly.
di
I feel
dire?
like
Maybe
not.
just maybe
I
it's
don't
both. I don't
think.
know.
I think it depends on the person too. I think it
Mm.
depends on the person too. I think it has something to do with the fact also that like I'm very straightforward as a person. Like again, back to the agreeableness, politeness thing. It's like I'm very straightforward. If something bothers me, I tell people instantly. This is why my boyfriend and I don't fight because the instant he does something that's slightly like, I don't like that, I tell him immediately and nothing ever becomes a problem. No, it's true. Nothing
No, it
ever
sounds
becomes
good. It's clearly working.
no, nothing ever becomes an argument because I'm like, "Can you not do that?" Like, that's kind of annoying. And
Brava.
then he's
Rather
like,
than it
"Oh,
building
okay,
up and
sorry."
frustrating.
Like, because the thing is, for me, it's easy. Like, I understand it's not easy for everyone, but for some people,
Mm.
for me, it's easy. So if something bothers me, I just say like, "Hey, I'm not a fan of this. Can you like not do that?"
Tremendous.
But like not in a
Lesson
mean
for
way,
us all.
like in a reasonable way. And we just like never fight. It's amazing. And so I think that might have something to do with that. Is like I don't want to be misinterpreted. I make things very clear. Again, it doesn't mean that I don't use them, you know,
Mm.
but it means that I use them slightly less. That's again my own interpretation of myself. Who knows if
Mm.
that's accurate? But
Fascinating. Hmm.
so
Lorenzo, 92, chiede: Da italiano che vive in USA, non mi ero mai accorto di questa differenza di pronuncia delle L. Pazzesco! Ma è così solo nell'inglese nordamericano? No, allora parliamo in italiano per questa parte. Quindi la L praticamente nell'inglese britannico abbiamo due L abbastanza diverse, mentre la L nostra nordamericana ci sono due, ma in italiano diciamo la, anche quando io parlo in italiano,
la
anche in latino, è una parte che rimane del mio accento nordamericano. Purtroppo io dico forse, non so, um, invece di la,
la
può
la
uscire. Purtroppo, perché non voglio fare. Però sono almeno accorto della differenza, che in britannico sarebbe lights, lights, e la L chiara, mentre full è molto velare.
Sì,
Light,
sì, non tocca
full.
neanche, mi sa.
No, and in our North American accent, lights, full.
Full,
There's
yeah.
there's a difference there, but yeah, interessante. Ok,
Yeah.
guardiamo un po'. Thank you for all your... ecco, Sonia dice tra... Sì,
Oh,
insegna benissimo.
Sonia, che carina.
Mm.
Non
Confermo,
l'hai
ottima
chissà.
insegnante. Confermano tutti. Noi parliamo
Grazie
fra di noi.
ragazzi, siete fantastici.
Ciao a tutti. Bene, ok, oh, mi sono perso. Oh, we have una richiesta.
Cosa? About.
That's not particularly pronounced at all. Since we talked about it, I can tell now about.
About.
Is that right?
I feel like it's slightly more open. About.
About.
Yeah,
That's really
more like,
good.
yeah.
About.
Whereas
Whereas
how do
I
you
would say
say it?
about. It's more
About.
about.
It feels like
Yeah.
so much effort. I don't know why. It just feels like I don't know.
Do you
It
want
feels like
to
so much effort.
see a silly comment that's meant to annoy you for giggles?
Sure.
Okay, here's one.
Canada is a US colony. Changed my mind.
Excellent. Very, very good way to respond to that. What American series with aspirated H's? Yeah, I think you're talking about H. Yeah, we say huh. Wow, there's so many commenti. Grazie a tutti. Mhm. Ok, ciao ragazzi, anch'io sono italo-americano, un saluto dalla Sicilia, siete bravissimi. Luke, spero
Grazie.
tu cominci a fare più video sul greco moderno. I haven't done anything on greco moderno, and um, not I'm not nearly good enough at modern Greek to even attempt such a thing. But grazie, I would love to be that good at what that language is at, Greco. Sto cercando. This is a random thing. Ioannis, speaking of Greeks, Ioannis Platogiannis, that's a fun name, says, how did centurion sound in Latin? Well, there's two, I'd say, preponenti pronunciations of Latin, ecclesiastical, which would be centurione, or centurio, sorry, centurio, and centurio in classical Latin pronunciation. So, che. Sto cercando delle altre. Ignotum per ignotius says, is there a big difference like this with Italian native speakers? I'm not sure what that was referring to because that
no.
was from 7 minutes
Were we
ago.
talking about the L?
Non mi ricordo.
Oh no, wait. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
if you can
No, I don't
clarify
know.
ignotum,
Yeah, ask
or
because I can't
yeah.
figure out what we were talking about either.
Let's see. Related to it. Don't know what that's about. So it's sent to. Grazie. Sono lingue che mi piacciono molto,
Che
quindi
bello.
I can trasferre meme ipsum intra sermones, non nunquam. But how can learn it? I think the question here, Ryan, is how learn
Like,
Italian.
how much can learning
This is
learning
baffling. The
Italian help
syntax
you
is
with
baffling me.
Latin?
So, yeah, thank you.
How can learning Italian help you with Latin?
Caspita, Davide and Raf and I, we recorded a video about this, and it is going to come out on polýMATHY in future. Let's see.
We are crazy.
Oh, ecco una bella domanda.
Mi piace il latino. Allora, sicuramente
Dopo un giorno.
cosa? Dopo un giorno.
Dopo
Allora,
un solo
sicuramente
giorno.
interessante, nel senso, all'inizio, per capirlo un po' così con questi video, sicuramente non è stato difficilissimo, è stato molto divertente perché tanto è così simile all'italiano, così giusto per capirlo un po' così, che ovviamente mi è piaciuto. Se voglio imparare il latino, non lo so. Non lo so, perché io non sapevo neanche se volevo imparare un'altra lingua e se imparare un'altra non sapevo manco quale lingua imparare. Quindi cosa è più importante, il francese che già potrei riuscire non lo so, io ce la farei probabilmente a raggiungere un livello intermedio di nuovo in pochissimo tempo, visto che più di 10 anni fa però no, non tipo 10 anni fa giro, nel senso parlavo abbastanza non benissimo, però abbastanza bene.
I think
Quindi
we
ha
can
più
make a good pitch for
senso.
Latin. Like Davide ed io possiamo convincerti di studiare il latino. Secondo me. Però,
But
tu stavi per
why?
dire qualcosa? Che stai
Why
lì?
should I? Everyone's like
Oh, no, ti
intrigued
dico
by
perché. Ti dico perché.
eh.
Ok, perché quando puoi leggere il latino, solo leggere, poi dappertutto, in tutte le città ci sono questi edifici con le iscrizioni in
Quello è
latino,
vero.
no?
Sì.
Mentre da noi sono inglesi. Quindi, the best part about, I think, despite the community, which is, I think, outstanding, and really accogliente, or the really cool aspects is that you get to have access to, so history has been written, like as far as actual historical documents, from
Mh-mh.
little stuff like accounting of stuff in like the court of Charlemagne, like there's really like minor detailed stuff, to like really important events. Almost all of it was written in Latin, obviously
Yeah.
having to do with European history. So obviously history isn't primarily European. No, I understand that. I said that once in a video. It was like, well, don't you know that like his? Well, yes, I know that. But what's actually preserved that's historical, most of it is in Latin, and a good deal in Greek as well, mostly Latin. What that means is that like since only a fraction has ever been translated, the stuff that we actually know has been from people who could read it and then just told us about it. And then that
Yeah.
translation, that those ideas, which weren't even direct translations, which are just like summaries, are what we think of as history. Wouldn't you want to actually get the chance to really read what these people said? Like, was Caesar a good guy or not? There's huge amounts of information to go through that is fascinating. Or better yet, to be able to
Mh.
read the poetry that's from this, that's in the most beautiful poetry is Latin, of classical Latin poetry. It just kicks every other form of poetry's butt. And it's,
You know what my problem
yeah,
is?
dimmi.
I'm such a friggin' perfectionist that
Sì.
the idea of learning another language not as good as I know Italian hurts me inside.
Oh, you'll trust me. You'll get to where your Latin's so much better than your Italian that you'll be speaking
No.
with it, Latinisms in your Italian like I do, which just and will thus endear you all the more to the Italians around you, as it has with me. Oh, he's trying so hard to say the thing, but he's using Latin.
But I'll have to use the
Lo sai qua.
ecclesiastical pronunciation because
Certo.
otherwise everyone will they'll assassinate me.
Sure. Oh, heck yeah. I love it. So if we do
Oh my
any of
god.
that stuff together, like with Davide or whatever, I'm delighted to use it. So sounds good to me. Giulio says, la mia ex insegnante di latino e greco dice che il metodo di apprendimento latino che consigli non ha portato grandi risultati nelle scuole dove è stato sperimentato. Perché? Perché sono incapaci di insegnare in quel metodo, Giulio, perché no, è metodo insegnare una lingua sia antica che moderna usando i metodi quindi non ha senso perché io guarda, io parlo italiano, non parlo perfettamente ovviamente, però parlo italiano. E come? Perché ho avuto degli insegnanti e in Italia e negli Stati Uniti prima che insegnavano parlare e poi riesco a parlare e leggere i testi in italiano. Quindi se impariamo parlare in latino, impariamo la lingua. Quindi questa insegnante no, assolutamente non ha ragione e se vuole può scrivermi e possiamo avere una let's do a live stream. That would be fun. I would love to do that because I wouldn't be mean. I would just be like, no, parliamo, like we talk about it.
Yeah.
Ok, guardiamo un po'. Guardiamo un po'. Arabo, parli?
No. I
Okay,
don't. I
that's an easy one.
wish. Yeah, the thing is like here's the thing. Here's my assessment for why. Now, Lebanese, in my opinion, is a language that it's like hard to learn if you're not learning it in the home as you grow up. like just learning it naturally. Because here's the thing, Lebanese people, at least in my experience, are like I mean, basically the view is like English is like important, you know, like we don't need Lebanese. It's like you need to, you know, go to
That's
Canada,
nice.
go to
Very
Canada
good.
and like, you know, be successful. You don't need Lebanese, it's useless. Just like learn English, you're fine. Okay.
Wow, that's
And so
good.
the thing is that when you ask them to help, because my brother attempted, will be like, okay, mom, teach us Lebanese. Okay. She'll say like a full sentence in Lebanese. Okay. What does that mean? Oh, it means this. Okay, can you like tell me what the parts mean? It's just like I feel like there's less nerdiness with Lebanese because there's such an intuitive feeling
Mm,
culture. It's just like they're just all feeling, you know? And so the chances
mm,
of you finding someone that nerdy to like teach Lebanese to you in that way is a little bit harder. Like maybe with standard Arabic, like you can, but with Lebanese, it's a spoken language, like, it's not even a written language. So, yeah, there are, like, you know, I think I found, like, a tiny book this big, and I was looking, like, forever to find a like, it's just it's like learning a dialect of Italian, like, there just aren't that many
MSA,
resources,
yeah. If you
you
use
know?
modern standard Arabic, there's a ton, and at least it
Yeah, but it's
can
like
guide you into.
it's like from what I've been told, it's like on the news and that's it. If you go to an Arabic speaking country and you start speaking standard Arabic, they'll be like they'll laugh at you. Like it's weird,
No,
you
we're
know?
foreigners, so they're gonna laugh anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, true. But you know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna learn it, it's gonna be to communicate with family, you know?
And
So I
then in
need to learn.
Lebanese, yeah.
So anyway, for that reason, it never
Mm,
happened. And here's the reason it didn't happen, but it happened for some of my cousins. They had two Lebanese parents. They heard it in the home. I had a Canadian parent with an Italian background and a Lebanese parent. Their common language was English. So my
mhm.
child brain was like, oh, the useful language is English. That's how people really communicate. I don't need Lebanese.
Mm,
And so
that's
she
interesting.
tried to teach it to me a little bit, but by that time I was like, "No, I don't want to. I don't need it," because all my friends spoke English, and I was like, "I don't need it." And
Mm,
now I'm sad.
Ma
So,
nel futuro si può fare.
mm,
Si può fare. And Gors Pretoria says, can you say the Neapolitan word? Kita mort. I assume it's something like that. This is an interesting thing, and Davide has a follow-up to it. Il latino struttura il cervello. Latin structures your mind. Is Latin a mathematical language? These are both, and Davide is setting me up to say something about this. Latin is a language, as any other language. To say that Latin structures your mind is an oft used trope that is essentially misleading. Latin appears to be complicated because it's taught in an overtly complicated way. So the structuring of the mind, which seems to occur, is only because it's being taught as some kind of logic puzzle rather than actually a language, much like this driving test in Italy, it would seem.
ugh,
So Latin is not a mathematical language any more than any other language is mathematical. Learning Latin doesn't structure your mind any more than learning Italian has structured many people's minds, or learning Russian or Japanese. It doesn't matter. So if learning Latin is your first experience learning a language, you will think, oh, this is structuring mind. Yes, but not particularly because of some nature of Latin itself. Cool. That the Elvis consul. Oh, this is a good question. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of Latin questions, more interested in the ones for you. But is it true that the L in Latin consul was pronounced similar to how it's pronounced in full in English? No, that is something that Sidney Allen believed. However, it's vigorously disproven by actual evidence. It's possible. Some Latin speakers said something
by
like,
actual evidence, not the fake stuff.
yeah. And I'm getting into my Sidney Allen, but a bird, Vox Latina, all these
I
specific
love
things
your
have nothing to do with it.
sass. It just like it gives me life,
I
man.
just recorded another very sassy video today. It'll come out on Friday. I just
Oh my god.
I don't know. Seems to entertain people. So whatever. I do feel that way. Anyway, yeah, because the idea was like, oh, it's like the British English fool. So like consul
Mm,
instead of
mhm.
consul, which would be more Italian sounding. And the point is that while it's possible for such pronunciations to have existed, um, there's no reason that has to be the pronunciation of Latin any more than I don't know, what's an example? I have a good example, I can't think of one. Beh, insomma, continuiamo. I convinced someone to learn Latin, that's good. Bene. Sto cercando... Grazie per tutti i commenti, ragazzi. Bene, parliamo... Oh, Pernox c'è. Dove sei? Pernox, non lo vedo. Eccolo! Chris Davis, who does live streams with me, where I teach him Greek in Latin. Cool, he's just saying hi. All right.
Lorenzo's asking,
Che chiede?
what are at 9:04 p.m. If you want
Grazie,
to Spotify it.
ti ringrazio.
What are
Grazie.
the hardest sounds for somebody who doesn't speak, like someone learning Italian?
Brava. Sì, infatti. Bene, sì. Gna, no,
Per qualcuno.
penso... No, gna è facile. Ma che pensi, dici?
Gno è facile, gli è un po' difficilissimo, nel senso devi giocare un pochino, però una volta che lo trovi non è la cosa più difficile al mondo. La cosa più difficile al mondo è Madonna mia, la doppia R.
Guarda il video di Elissa. È qui,
Come pronunciare la R.
Eccola.
Secondo me è la cosa più difficile. Poi dopo di quello, sì, magari gli, la E finale, non finale, finale, okay, sale, perché abbiamo tanti suoni che sono in realtà 2 suoni in 1, tipo A, I, O. Non è un suono, sono 2 suoni messi insieme e quindi facciamo un po' fatica a pronunciare questi suoni in modo molto preciso e solo un suono e basta, perché alla fine di una parola non è abbastanza diverso, quindi sì, le vocali sono molto difficili. Le doppie magari, anche le doppie, non è la cosa più difficile al mondo, però,
Bisogna praticare. Sì,
sì,
è
devi fare tanta
importante.
pratica.
Bene. Per la risposta, Irene chiede: Ciao Irene. Rafael, Elissa, a te piace più la pizza romana o napoletana?
Allora, bellissima domanda per una persona che non può più mangiare il glutine.
Ma nella memoria, se ti ricordi.
Forse quella napoletana. Non lo so, tutte e 2 in realtà. Son diversi.
Oh, dicono tutti i romani. In
L'importante per
coro.
me
Ah,
è
oh,
che
oh. Ma
l'importante
che sta di? Che sta di?
l'importante per me è che gli ingredienti sono freschi, buoni,
Mm,
che le cose sono fatte bene. Questo per me è la cosa più importante. Poi non posso più mangiare il glutine, quindi diciamo che la pizza non è una cosa che non posso permettermi di mangiare almeno la pizza normale, anche se ho trovato un posto dove usano la farina di canapa per fare la pizza.
uh,
Eh,
quindi è possibile.
quindi no, è possibile, nel senso anch'io l'ho fatto con la farina di fave. Sì, sì, esiste, farina di
Mm,
fave.
mm,
Sinceramente non è male, nel senso non è la stessa cosa, però se non vuoi star male, per sei una persona come me che non lo può mangiare, io preferisco non star male e almeno mangiare una cosa simile. Però
mm.
devo provare 'sta pizza con la farina di canapa, poi vedremo com'è.
Ottimo, bene. Bene, chiede... Grazie Irene per la domanda. Quindi, che volevo... c'è una bella domanda qui. Anche io vorrei tornare all'argomento, come vivere, come per te vivere in Italia. Però questi commenti sono fantastici,
Lo
cioè,
so, lo
sì,
so.
sono bello. Ehm, No, dai, è
Poi
importante, questo è
quando?
importante.
Quando l'ha detto? Aspetta.
Cosa?
Quando
Chi?
ha detto questo?
Davide?
Sì. Ah, la pizza!
Ora, riguardo alla pizza. No, è questo è
Oh!
importante. Questa è roba importante, ragazzi. Non scherziamo, eh.
Ecco la pizza qui. Guardate qui che c'è la pizza. Perfetto.
Sì, infatti, Simone chiede di AO. Does it come from? Oh, well, so, le interjections, evolve more or less naturally, and they are constantly innovative, or innovative. they can be really, I mean, even nicely. Thank you, Edgardo, for saying this. Hola, and then hola for the Portuguese. Hola. There's a nice velar L in Portuguese. Hola, and ciao a tutti, of course. So these interjectional kinds of words, like we have actually have a cool thing. If you guys want to go to lucranieri.com, lucranieri.com.com.
Fatte come.
At the bottom, I have all the Latin interjections that I think are known. And one of them is written like this. Now, as I bring up in a recent video, an oft said thing is wait, no, actually, I do it. This, you want to preview the video for Friday? It's like, there were no tape recorders in the ancient past. How can you say you know the pronunciation? You know, that kind of thing. Anyway. Now we don't know if it's ejo or ejo, and also the H is used sometimes to separate vowels. So it could, just as like in English and Italian, you write AH and we pronounce it ah. We don't pronounce it ah, like Hebrew would. Classical Hebrew says ah with an H sound, and Arabic can do that as well. But it doesn't mean it's pronounced. And Latin also writes AH sometimes to mean ah. It doesn't mean ah. So this could be eo as well, which sounds a lot like ao. So does ao come from o? I think it could have been innovative a very short tempo fa. I'm still cambiando in varie lingue, non so why, but
Non so why. Oh my God.
appunto, how long did it take you to learn Italian? I had some basic beginner Italian before I came. Then I studied in Florence, and then I was fluent and by the end of the semester, but always learning, sempre imparando. Ok, torniamo all'argomento, perché a me interessa tantissimo, sorellina, vivere in Italia. Parliamo
Sì.
delle cose, le cose belle, le cose che ti piace molto.
Quindi cosa mi piace dell'Italia? La
Vivere qui.
gente. Anche se ci sono tante allora, quando dico queste cose dicono tutti: "Sì, ma gli italiani fanno schifo, ignoranti, blah blah blah". Okay, allora ci sono, come dico sempre, ci sono persone stupidi, allora,
Scemi.
la gente ignorante c'è dappertutto. Allora, magari un po' di problemi ce li ho un po' di più con gli italiani, per esempio questi giorni che 'ste persone mi stanno scrivendo cose molto inquietanti. Okay, questo devo dire che mi succede un po' di più con gli italiani, questo è vero. Però questo è una cosa negativa. Però comunque mi sento che riesco più a fare amicizie un po' più facilmente, c'è più cuore, non so come spiegarlo. Quindi per me la gente è fantastica.
Accogliente, diresti?
Sì, sì, sì.
Anch'io mi sento così.
Mi piace, perché in Italia, anche se non sono una persona, io non so nulla della storia, sono molto ignorante purtroppo, però comunque stare in un posto in cui sai che ci sono stati tutte queste persone molto importanti che sono stati dove sei tu in quel momento, tipo in Canada che cavolo c'è? Nel senso, non è che non c'è nulla, però è un paese abbastanza nuovo, quindi magari non senti quella storia nell'aria, capisci? In Italia senti che puoi immaginare com'erano le cose, perché non sembra così diverso, capisci? Per me è una
Sì,
cosa magica. Quindi questa è una cosa che mi piace tantissimo, mi piace il fatto che ci sono tantissimi dialetti, tantissimi accenti,
bellissimo, sì.
non lo so, ci sono tante differenze, un piatto per ogni posto, non lo so, ci sono così tante cose belle in ogni posto
Wait,
e
wait, that
sì,
sounds so cool. Un piatto
sì,
per ogni posto. Ovviamente vuoi
sì,
dire la cucina, giusto?
sì,
Però the way it sounded, for some reason my brain decided to imagine it more vividly. And with the idea of accogliente, there's a table of Italy. And
sì.
there's a piatto for ogni posto a tavola. Just
Like,
everybody's welcome. And then
imagine,
that's what it
like, a
sounded.
huge table, and every single city or town or, like, has a plate on the table that's different. That's Italy. It's
E non vuoi
so
dire
freaking
le
cool.
fiorine, decorazione sul piatto stesso. Yeah, the food is, yeah, the varietà del cibo is really straordinario. Straordinaria.
It's so
If I'm
cool.
mixing languages, I have to have adjective noun agreement. So excuse me, every one.
No. But yeah, so stuff like that. Like, I know it sounds, people are like, oh, food doesn't matter. Who cares? And I'm like, listen, buddy, 3 times a day you have to eat. If 3 times a day
Occhio.
you're eating garbage, like,
No, infatti, noi
and if 3
sappiamo
times a day
bene.
you're eating good food,
Sì,
guess what? You're gonna be happier. So
infatti,
I know it sounds like maybe a stupid
mm,
thing, but it's not. Like, it affects your everyday life, and, of course, there are negative things about Italy, you know,
mm,
but there are lots of positives too. Plus, I found
mm.
my freaking, like, love of my life boyfriend, and,
Aw,
like, even to this, it's like we've been together for over 4 years, and anytime I listen to
complimenti.
a song that makes me think about how much I love him, I just instantly start crying because that's how much I freaking love him, and it's like, I found this person in Italy. So thank you, Italy, for gifting me this person.
Ti capisco perfettamente, eh.
Esatto, lo
Mm,
so. Che
sì.
bello.
Logan, a very good friend of mine, Manel Makar, it goes by, has asked this in Latin. He's a very fluent Latin and ancient Greek speaker as well. Pater meus casu te, Elisam, ex audiens te bellam avere vocem dicit, aptam ad radio. My father,
Radio voice?
look at you. See, you know Latin. This is so facile per
Pater
te.
meus, tipo Dio mio?
No,
Boh.
mio,
My
padre mio.
dad?
Hmm. Yeah. Let's
I don't know. I don't
Here,
know what
let me
cal means.
isolate the words that'll help you out here. Pater
Yeah.
meus, and then at the end,
My dad.
dicit. I'll use ecclesiastic pronunciation.
Okay.
Pater meus dicit. Vocem habere te
Your voice
bellam.
is
Vocem.
beautiful.
Recte. Aptam ad
Oh,
radio.
like optimal for the radio. Radio
Exactly.
voice.
Look at you understanding Latin. You see, this is easy. And that's
Yeah.
actually a rather syntactically intermediate to advanced sentence, so you're all well on your way.
Oh. I told you have a good radio voice.
No, he's talking about you
Why me?
because you have a
How do
great
you
radio
know?
voice. Logan knows me. He's complimenting
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Yeah, you do have a
Ma
great radio voice.
grazie. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know what? We should
Aw.
get YouTube channels. We should do that. I think that would be
Let's
great.
do You know
All
what's
right.
interesting? How
Say.
much people comment, like, I don't know, this is, like, irrelevant, nobody cares, but, like, the thing about my voice is a comment that I get so much, but it's a
Mhm.
comment that I mean, rarely I get it in person, but it's a thing that I get online all the time. People always comment on my voice, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "What?" I don't know, I just find that interesting. I don't know.
Mhm.
Anyway, so
Well, yeah,
I'm glad though. It's not
yeah,
the
you
most
have
common
them.
compliment ever. It's not like the typical, like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? It's kind of
It's better than being told you have a face for radio, that's for sure. Yeah, no, have you heard that before? That's a
No.
funny funny thing. No, we have
Oh
yeah,
my
you got the voice for
god.
radio, amica.
So do you,
Uh,
dude. You got
Thank
that
you.
deep voice. You got that, like, booming, like, epic, put some effects on it, like, oh my god. Radio
Wait,
voice,
so
man.
you're saying I need effects on the voice. It's not that great then, huh?
What I'm
So scherzo.
saying.
Scherzo, scusa. Uh,
Oh mio Dio, grazie comunque. Thank you, that's so sweet.
uh,
See, even Davide says you have a beautiful voice, Luke.
oh, beh, abbastanza bene. Però questa diretta è per Elissa, eh? È di Elissa, è di
No, ma
questo.
possiamo dare un po' di amore anche a te, perché
No,
no?
I got plenty. That's fine.
It's like, "Oh, please stop."
Yeah, we got a
Oh,
nice
good.
chiarete from Isabella Xanthi. So chiere poli. Let's see. What was I going to? Bene. Okay, good. I think I'm caught up on comments.
Okay. We
All
were
right.
trying
So what's that? Scusa?
Go ahead.
No, perché vivere, chiediamo let's ask people out there. I'm trying to think of some other relevant questions about living in Italy since you've lived here for so long.
No,
That
not
like
so long, like 3 years, 3 and
that's
a half years.
tremendous. That sounds like a dream to me.
It's
What,
pretty dreamy, actually.
what do you miss other than obviously family and maybe the literal
Uh,
geography? Is there anything that's truly like you can only get in Canada?
Not
that you can't?
really.
Maple syrup?
No, there's maple syrup here, dude. You just gotta look for it.
Well, then, heck, all right, I'll move here tomorrow. Oh, wait, I'm already here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are.
Just have to make it più permanente.
Here's the thing, like, what is
Mm.
there that I miss? Like, excluding the obvious family, friends, blah, blah, blah. Beaver tails. Okay, but the thing is, like, I have problems with gluten, so, like, if I had half of one, maybe I'd be okay. But, like, yeah, beaver tails are basically it's kind of like a donut. It's flat. You know how
Is it like a
beaver's
bear
tails are,
claw?
like, flat? No.
But it's donut based.
It's like a kind of donut-ish
So it is
pastry
like a
that's
bear claw.
flat.
It's not because I'm coming from not knowing what that is, thinking like you like is that a do you wear them? Do you eat them? Like they're tails of beavers.
Okay,
Like
so it's like a donut thingy that you get only in Canada, and it's perfect for when you're in Ottawa and you're going skating on the Rideau Canal, which is the longest outdoor skating rink in the world, by the way.
hmm.
And
Well,
you go skating and then you go get a beaver tail, and it's like this donut thing, and it's like long and kind of flat like this, and it has like brown sugar, and I used to always get the apple cinnamon one that's basically like almost tastes like an apple pie, and it's like, oh, so that's pretty good. But I
cool.
can't really eat it anyway anymore. So,
Eh, non importa.
yeah, poutine, it's like fries, gravy, and cheese curds. But,
Interessante.
you know, it's
Potrei
just like
assaggiare.
the thing is, like, like, my body's so dumb that I can't enjoy stuff the same way that I used to. So
Meno
it's
male.
like maple syrup I can have because it's actually bothers me less than like normal white sugar does. So actually when I make desserts, I sometimes use maple syrup instead of sugar,
Mm.
and it causes me less problems. So gotta love
Cool.
maple syrup.
Especially as
But
like
what do I
like organic right from the
you gotta get
bark.
the pure stuff. Don't get that fake stuff.
Mm.
And but yeah, I don't know if I really miss much. Like the only things that are annoying are like stupid little things. Like the fact that there's always like maximum 2 outlets. And like why is there always 1 outlet? Why?
I have no
Why can't you
wait,
put
no
2?
wait.
There's space for
I'm
it.
so new here. I had a heck of a time organizing myself here, and I thought I was better prepared, but okay.
Yeah.
So I have I do have an
Adapter?
extra. Yeah, I have a power strip,
Yeah.
which I've connected to adapter, which goes in one place. But sometimes they have the round ones, and I got the actual Apple like thing which connects to the um gosh, I should know these terms, and I'm not that Apple literate apparently. Anyway, it's only the round. No, I'm going to show you. Hold on a second.
Oh my gosh.
Mentre faccio cadere. I was about to say cadere because cadere is Latin. Oh
Oh
my gosh,
no.
it's cadere and ridere. The
That's
small
annoying.
annoyances.
That's
Yeah,
that's a pain in the butt.
there's a few of those. And agire, it's agire instead of agire. A few things. Okay,
Mm.
so this is the official like from Apple product which connects to
But that's the
the
bigger
thing.
size.
And it's this
Okay,
round one.
it's
And
so annoying.
thankfully I have one over there, but not the old convenient ones that are right here.
Look, there are friggin' 3 types of
What is this?
frickin' plugs.
Why
It
are the
drives me
3
crazy.
types?
There's the big one, which is I think the German one, okay?
That's what
Where
this is?
like yeah, I think that's the German one,
Why this is
okay?
Italy, perché we have Italian?
Because the stuff comes from Germany, like, I don't know, some shit like
Echt?
that.
Warum? Ich
So
liebe Deutschland, aber
it's
ich bin in Italien,
it's so
bitte.
annoying. I bought a hairdryer. It doesn't fit in the freaking outlet because some of them have okay, so there's like only the small one. Because it depends how old the house is, right? They have like the old, like the
Small
Italian one is
one,
the small,
people.
okay?
Yeah, the small little. Wait, hold on. I think I got a thing here. A spina. Si chiama la spina, giusto?
Spina, sì. Allora,
Ok,
per
fammi
esempio
trovare.
questo per
Dove
il,
la roba? Non ce l'ho qui.
telefono, questo è
Oh.
quello piccolo, okay?
Sì,
Quello
sì,
sta
sì, sì.
lì. Allora, nelle stanze
Mm.
da letto di solito ci sono quelli piccoli, invece
Mhm.
di sotto, qui magari nelle stanze più, non lo so, grande dove metti la TV e tutto quello, c'è quello più grosso. Quindi io per usare l'aspirapolvere devo mettere non posso dire parolacce immagino. Devo mettere un
Oh boy.
Ah?
I don't think the censors will get you. You can say whatever you want.
Ah, okay. Devo mettere un cazzo di adattatore per
Mhm.
usare qualsiasi cosa, per usare il phon, per usare, l'aspirapolvere, perché? Perché devo avere un adattatore per tutto? Comunque, questa è una
So
cosa
using an
piccola, però
adapter for the plugs of the native system.
yeah!
That's a little
And there are 3
pazzo.
types.
That's also
Why?
encourages fire hazard, I
And so
think,
if
from
you
what
look
little I
at
know of
this
electricity.
ciabatta, like the not extension cord, what's it called?
I don't know what a ciabatta is. I mean, it sounds like mi è salita la ciabatta.
Extension cord, but the one that has multiple
Is that the
things.
expression? Mi è salita la ciabatta. Is that a thing? Oh,
Cicagna.
cicagna, non la ciabatta.
Cicagna.
Salta in bocca non lo è. Mi è salita la
No,
salta in
allora
bocca.
ciabatta era tipo like you left the house in your slippers, but I can't remember the exact word for it. It was a different one. It was a different one. But anyway, it's like why, you
Mhm.
know? And then things like that. The fact that and this depends where you live. The fact that I can only use one appliance at a time, it disrupts my daily life in a
Wait,
way I
why
can't
can't,
explain.
just because of the lack of plugs, not because there's an electrical
No, because the
limitation, right?
freaking power turns off, but that depends on where you live, I think.
What?
Yes.
Well, there's a really cool channel I like called Technology Connections. Really, big, awesome channel. He,
Power strip, that's what it is.
power,
Yeah.
power, oh, is the ciabatta's a power strip?
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that. All right. Looking at my power strip, ciabatta. Okay. Sto cercando di farmi vedere. Okay. So, Technology Connections, he talked about how dangerous the system is in North America, at least the US. I think also applies to the Canadian. Wait, our stuff is the same, right? With
Our
North.
plugs, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank goodness. Yay. International similarities of one thing, which is good.
I mean, it's helpful.
But the British have to do a different thing too. That's right, to get adapters for that. Ok, insomma, che volevo dire? Qualcosa di qualcosa. What was I gonna say? Oh, that our systems are actually pretty, like, they don't prevent fires, and they are much more statistically likely in North America than they are in Europe. But if they keep turning this stuff off, then it's just that does seem more like, because we're cowboyish and we're like, yeah, we'll take the risk, and then it works and we enjoy it. And they're like, we're just gonna shut down everything just in case. I guess that would be a difference.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of looked at the comments and zoned out.
No, let's look at a comment.
So
Dario
sorry.
Benini says, ma Lisa, se capisco bene, non sei italiana? Tu italiano è pazzescamente perfetto.
Grazie. No, non sono italiana, sono canadese, però grazie. Che carino.
Sì.
Ci provo. Cerco di fare del mio meglio. Allora, ho una domanda per te, Dario, perché questa è una cosa che sto chiedendo a tutti. Secondo me, allora, ti ho già detto che non sono italiana, però facciamo finta che io sia italiana. Secondo te, di dove sei? Di dove sono? Nel senso, che accento ho? Perché non lo so, lo trovo interessante perché mi interessa capire che tipo di accento ho, non so. Quindi fammi
Bella
sapere.
domanda. Mona Lisa asks, what part of Italy are you living in?
I live nelle Marche, in una città che si chiama Fano. Quindi sì, nelle Marche, nord delle Marche, sono Center North Italy in Marche.
And I am in Rome right now. Ioannis Platokianis says, do you want to try to pronounce this in 50th century AD pronunciation of ancient Greek? You're welcome.
Me?
I assume this is for me. Well, I assume this is for me. I want to be polite. You are the guest. I don't want to, I appreciate these questions of everyone.
Although,
very nice.
Trying to pronounce stuff is fun. So
Well, let's do it. Okay, so this is how it's pronounced. This is the so-called, I mean, I called it that with Raphael Torrigiano, with whom I developed it with, the Lucian pronunciation of ancient Greek, which applies to basically the classical Roman period. So these means these means knives. These are knives. Machiairai, 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 machiairai.
Machiairai.
Excellent. Modern Greek pronunciation. Yeah, exactly. Modern Greek pronunciation is machiere. So great job. Perfect as always. That's right.
Oh, that's good.
Bene. Dove siamo nei commenti? Bene, abbiamo Italian Canadian. Well, Canadian Italian.
I mean, I never know how to answer that question because, like, what does that mean? Like, yes, Italian background, but born and raised in Canada.
Right, and should you attain Italian citizenship, then you would be, again, the other way around more than once. But yeah, I would call myself
Canadian Italian.
Italo-Americano, so Italo-Canadese,
Sì.
diciamo, etnicamente. Poi abbiamo ricevuto la
Allora, questo
risposta.
lo trovo molto interessante, perché questo mi succede
Quale?
sempre. Ci sono delle persone che dicono: "No, non hai accento, parli praticamente perfettamente", e poi c'è sempre un'altra persona che dice: "No, no, 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 è un accento straniero". Questo lo trovo molto interessante, non lo so,
Mm.
molto interessante.
Io vorrei sapere, sì.
'Cause, like, some
Sì,
people
hai
are, like,
detto.
so convinced, like, you know what I mean? Sì, sì, there you go.
But
Non ha nessun
unaccented Italian is
accento, è un
almost,
italiano perfetto senza accenti. Cosa?
yeah, but unaccented Italian for a native speaker is almost non-existent. You can almost
I
every,
think they mean it's, like, close to standard Italian.
well, yeah, so doing like Davide, who's from Torino, but has worked hard to get not unaccented. It's like, that's what you sound like, which would be amazing. I'd love to sound like that. Or does
I
it
don't
sound like
know.
something else?
I think what people mean is that it sounds similar to standard Italian, although there are some
Hmm.
differences. So I say bene, not bene. Bene is standard. I say finalmente, and standard is finalmente,
Well, these sound like
for
regional
example.
aspects, I would assume, of Le Marche, just because you lived there a while, right?
Well, it depends. In Pesaro, which is the next city, they say finalmente. I say finalmente.
And keep it chiuso, yeah.
Um,
Interessante. Yeah, well, so I'd be interested. Oh, I'm glad they like the Lucian pronunciation. Yeah, sono d'accordo. Rasmian pronunciation is basically a somewhat poorly reconstructed version of ancient Greek phonology. I have a whole 100,000 videos and comments and essays about that, so I won't talk about it now. Maria Gunari, I don't know how to pronounce this right. Gunari, am I saying that right? Maria, she's Greek. She says, Milaskia moderna linika, neoligo, monoligo, just a little bit, very little modern Greek do I speak. Italo-americano italiano, ma lei è canadese, quindi Italia-canadese italiana sarebbe lei. Is ancient Greek harder to learn than Latin? For us, as speakers of Italian or English, yeah, different alphabet, whereas Latin has a huge crossover of vocabulary that's in English and in Italian. So harder is subjective. However, if you have really good teaching methods, it really helps. It helps to level out those differences.
oh my
Bene.
god, my dad's here. Hi.
Dov'è? Come si
So let
chiama?
me get this straight. You don't come to my stuff, but you come to his live stream?
Come si
Rude.
chiama? Dov'è?
Dell'Aera.
Allora, non ho visto.
9:38 p.m.
Grazie. Oh, eccolo. Ciao, Seste. Siciliano. Scusaci, vogliamo dire
Siete
cittadinanza,
scuse.
non la penisola. La
Non
penisola
volevo
è un'altra cosa,
offenderti.
sappiamo, scusa, eh. Fantastico. Ma lui è nato in Italia, no? Sì?
No, lui è nato in Canada, però i suoi
Come mio
genitori
padre, sì.
erano siciliani, sì.
Bene.
Sì.
Okay, another Italian has said this. People are like Japanese when they drink. What? They say no accent. They're polite, but you have an accent. Okay. I would like to know too.
So people are just telling me I don't have an accent just to be nice. So they're lying to me?
I mean, I know I
How
have a
rude.
mix. I started learning like very seriously in Florence, so I have some few Toscano characteristics. Trying to romanizzarmi, but it's going to be a while. So anyway, I'm comfortable with it. Some people have said my accent is cute, and they tell me don't. They have told me. Oh my gosh, they tell me not to change it. I will strive to meet those wishes, but don't worry, I can put on un accento molto
accento
forte
americano.
quando
Siciliano.
vuoi. Non è difficile.
Vuoi.
Ok, Secondo me il tuo accento italiano è della zona centro-nord, molto vicino a quello standard dei doppiatori, bene, ma con sfumature che fanno capire che sei straniera, specialmente le vocali. Really? Her vowels? Or maybe like aperta, chiusa, maybe something like that. Otherwise
Non
you're
lo so.
di
Boh.
qualità però, no.
Dipende, noi non possiamo
No, vabbè.
sentire queste sfumature.
Mm.
Non penso. Però vabbè, faccio
Eh.
del mio meglio. Io non ho mai detto di essere perfetta. Queste sono cose che hanno detto le altre persone. Io non ho mai detto, quindi I'm washing my hands of that accusation because I never claimed to be perfect.
Oh,
Comunque.
sì.
No, è solo che quando la
Concordo.
gente dice: "No, sei perfetta, non hai un accento", poi chiedo: "Okay, secondo te qual è il mio
Centro-nord?
accento?"
Che ha senso, sei nelle Marche, quindi
Sì, sì,
ha
però
senso.
vabbè.
Arthur says, this is Latin. In case you didn't know. Obviously Latin. Neputes cum latine scribendi sunt libros minusculas litteras. Google Translator Latine Westri sententia. So, not sure what was this wasn't done with Google Translate, was it? I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, Latin should be written as Latin has been written for hundreds and over 1,000 years with lowercase letters. So, and capitals, the same way we write every other modern Western European language. Oh, they're asking about my character, my fake German character, where the German who interviews the Roman legionary. For Melka, I chose. I don't know if you saw it. Do you see the Elisa, my other channel, where I have a little 3-minute video where I have a German time traveler who speaks Latin, who encounters a Roman legionary. I play both characters, and è divertente. Vedrai, okay.
Were you talking to me? 'Cause I thought you were talking to them, so it's like, I'm gonna
No,
look
I'm
at the
talking to
comments.
you. It's not important.
I'm so sorry.
No,
What did you
no, è
say?
difficile, dobbiamo concentrare sui commenti.
No, because the thing
Vabbè,
is,
no,
like,
non ti
he was
preoccupare.
asking something, like, I have no idea what he's talking about, so I was like, "Okay, now he's gonna address the audience, let me
I was
look at the
actually
comments."
trying to bring you into it because,
I'm
but
so
insomma.
sorry, I'm a bad friend.
No, questo è difficile, ragazzi, fare live, leggere tutti questi bei commenti, cercare di fare un discorso. Bene, infatti, I love your S sound, but in English? Or Italian? Beh, ok, facciamo così, sorellina. This was awesome. We should do this again. We should
Yeah.
seriously
Is
consider.
it over?
Well, ma facciamo un'altra diretta nel futuro.
Tristezza.
Ma è anche per me.
Vabbè,
Sì,
no, è
però.
stato super divertente.
Sì, anche per me.
Yay, che
Bene,
bello.
grazie ragazzi. Se avete avuto, non so, qualche domanda a cui non abbiamo potuto rispondere oggi, scrivete dopo 10 minuti, tipo 10 minuti, e potremo rispondervi tranquillamente. Il più importante però è subscribe to the channel, whose name is It's Elisa, not Alyssa, as written right there on the screen. And fabulous stuff. A huge amount of videos are going to come out too in the coming days and weeks. So I'm not going to miss them. You shouldn't miss them either.
You
And
guys don't want to
also,
miss out.
you don't want to miss them.
Okay.
And if you want to have an outstanding teacher of English, si sei italiano, ad esempio, you have someone who knows Italian extremely well, who can explain how to pronounce English very well. Dovrei dire in italiano, ma mi avete capito, spero. And if you want to learn Italian from one of the best, that's Elisa. In the description, you can find out how to contact her to set up lessons. And insomma, Elisa, grazie mille. Ci vediamo presto.
Grazie a te. Sì, no, grazie a te, ci vediamo.
A dopo.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao a tutti. Ciao.